record on this computer. Okay, so basically, I'm not sure. I mean, everybody's probably at different skill levels and that sort of thing. I'm going to go. I basically before we jumped on this call,
Yeah, I'm sitting there.
I quickly typed out my sort of rough guide rules for when I use Hourglass, and I did a call last week where I sort of touched on a few of those rules, and a lot of people had great results from it. Like I had heaps of messages of people just saying, they had really good results, and so I've expanded on that a little bit, and if you're already using Hourglass, great. If you're not and you're doing other types of trading, some of these sort of ideas are applicable across the board, so it doesn't matter. I'm not telling anybody to suddenly switch to Hourglass and change what you're doing. That's the last thing that you want to do. If you're doing trading and you're learning something and you're clicking with an educator, and I say stick with that for a good amount of time. Like, don't swap and change all the time, because if you do that, then you're never going to master something. So,
the whole purpose of this, and this is kind of why we decided to go back to basics, was like, we've had a lot of new people join and they're like, everything was feeling a bit overwhelming. So we're like, okay, let's go back to Hourglass, because that already has your support and resistance lines in it. It has currency strength. It already has these kind of tools inbuilt in a really simple format. So we're like, okay, what can we do for someone that's like very new to trading or is feeling the overwhelm? Let's bring something back that it's like super, super simple. And we're going to show you guys, we're literally giving you like foundation level here today.
Yeah.
And if you want to expand on this, Dr. Josh Lee and Brandon Boyd teach this scanner in absolute depth. But we're hoping that we can just give you guys a good foundation that you can start winning some trades on, not feeling overwhelmed, and can start actually getting some momentum and success, so that when you do jump on with the master educators, you've already got a good foundation. So you're just building upon that. So that's kind of our aim for these calls, and to have the little bit more intimate calls so you can ask these questions, so that you can come and as well see trading live. I know for us, that was like a really big moment for us, was like seeing it take live in action, and that sometimes helps things click better as well. I know watching the educators when they're on the charts and marking up and explaining stuff's good, but sometimes it's actually really powerful when you see it live in action.
Now, quickly, I will say again, trade on demo tonight, because I am. So one of the reasons is that we've got a lot of new people that we're trying to switch, to back to basics. And I trade on TradingView normally because I kind of merged a few trading strategies into one, and it was kind of my own style of trading, and I was doing really well with that for a great period of time. But recently, and I've actually put it down, I mean, I might be wrong, but I put it down to this conflict in Russia. I feel like things are just moving differently, and I've been seeing my hit rate hasn't been as good more recently, and so I've decided, just because of that, and also all these new people, that I'm going to go back to basics, go back to where I learned trading, which is Hourglass, and hopefully now me getting back into it, we can all just learn it together. So let's just jump in there. I don't want to spend too much time talking, but
no, you gotta share the screen.
Share the screen. I always do this.
You're so used to just flicking across there.
Share screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. Now, I literally typed this up really quickly. Sorry, we're going to stay quiet because I've got kids are asleep. So Jemma's telling me to shh. I typed this up like half an hour ago. So this was a rough, just quick sort of summary of what I do when I trade Hourglass. And, you guys might not want to do all of these things. It's something that I've been testing recently, and I've had some good results with it on my demo account. I've actually stepped away from trading this whole week, and I've just been testing the strategy on demo. And you can't really say how good a strategy is until you've tested it for, you're going to do it for, to be honest, probably the whole month. So before you go away and use this strategy, these steps, and use Hourglass, don't jump straight to your live account. Jump on demo, make sure that you're getting a good hit win rate before you go live. So really quickly, I'm just going to read through this. Okay, so the first thing I do before trading, things to consider, things to do. check the folders. So you go to www.forexfactory.com. Some of you guys might know about this already. I'll share this in the group later on so you guys can have all this information in front of you. So first of all, that's the first thing that I do. So I'm going to do that right now with you guys here. So Market Forex. Actually, I've got it as one of my favorites up here. So the first thing you do is you're going to jump in here, look at the folders. So these folders will tell you whether there is any news or anything like that that could be causing the market to be volatile. You're looking for colored folders, so anything red, orange, or gray actually is possibly something that could cause the markets to fluctuate abnormally. So if I, for instance, saw a whole bunch of red folders here, I might consider not trading those pairs or not trading for the day. And it's okay not to trade
or
for the
coming
day.
back at a different time.
Exactly. I don't, to be honest, like orange to me is not too bad. I see USD's got a couple of folders, so I just quickly, you can read into them. I don't bother. I just look at the colors and I think, okay, maybe I'll try and stay away from USD. But if I see a great setup on USD, I'll probably still trade it because it's just orange folders to me. The next thing that's really important is go over to market, that market tab there, come down here, and you can see the different market times. So when the markets open and close. And one of the important things here is I said, check market session times, try not to trade within 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but say 45 minutes either side of a market opening or closing. To avoid getting caught out when trends reverse. Because what happens is when you get a new market opening or closing, you've got the New York session kicks in, and then you've got all of the traders and the banks on that side of the world kicking in, and that changes the market because it causes it to be volatile for that period. So you want to wait till you see a new trend form so you can trade that trend. So that's just sort of like a rough rule to follow. Don't trade or try not to trade within 45 minutes either side of the market opening or closing.
Yeah, this was something we figured out through man, we're doing all these things correctly. Why are our trades losing? Like, this makes no sense.
It's
and it
timing.
wasn't until we came back to this and realized, of course, think about it. These big banks are coming in and pushing these markets like crazy.
Changing. So you're just going to be like, so right now we are just about 45 minutes on the either side of the Tokyo market closing, and we're in the middle of the London session. So right now we should be okay to trade. So the other thing is read your notes. So if you guys have watched my videos or watched our videos on previous sessions, I always say take notes, track your trades, read your notes from the previous session, make sure you're not making the same mistakes over and over again, or just refresh your memory on what you could have improved on last time. Definitely do that.
Yeah, on your tracking trade spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet. Okay, and then these are things to consider while you're trading, and this is probably applicable to any style of trading, whether you're doing DeLorean or a whole bunch of stuff. And I'll break this down into steps for Hourglass, but obviously be patient. Sometimes you need to come back in 15 minutes if the market is not aligning. So I've got a few steps that I follow with Hourglass. Quite often you'll find that the market will move in a way that none of the pairs are lining up with those steps. Instead of waiting there and trying to trade it, come back in 10, 15 minutes, because the market fluctuates and moves in waves. So in 5 or 10, 15 minutes, you'll find that all of the currency pairs will start aligning. So just come back.
And the great thing about Hourglass is you get trade call outs every 5 minutes. So don't feel like, I'm not going to get in trade alerts. Like, just go for a cup of tea, go and come back, and you should be able to find some new setups.
Number 2, trade with the trend. I used to trade. I mean, when I trade on TradingView, I'd actually trade
pullbacks,
consolidation with the trend, a whole bunch of stuff, different things. But if you want to be safe, especially when you're first starting, just trade with the trend. And I'm going to show you steps to ensure that you are trading with the trend. Find a pullback and trade that. So that's what you want to trade. Look for breakthroughs and retests, and we'll explain what those are.
Just fill out the diary.
And sorry, if you could just put yourself on mute as well, unless you have a question. If you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Number 5, look for support and resistance zones. And now, greatly, obviously, Hourglass automatically has those in there. Sometimes they don't, and I'll show you how to sort of figure those out. But those are going to be your entry points. So support, resistance zones, and also your EMA zones. Consider I'm making this up as I go. No, I just need to finish this and write a more concise one. Consider your trade timings based on the current market movements. So for me, I really stick to quite heavily just doing 3-minute trades. But I utilize rollover, which is, a time extension on your trade. Some brokers like Pocket Option won't allow that. And if, you'll get used to this over the time, the more you trade, you'll notice that sometimes the market moves really quickly and sometimes it moves quite slowly. And so if it's moving quite slowly, I might consider going to 5-minute trades, for example.
If you don't have rollover.
If you don't, especially if you don't have rollover, but even if you, I think 3 minutes is my sort of sweet spot, but with rollover. But you guys you need to stick to something consistently and then figure out, okay, if I had a little bit more time on most of these trades, and this will come down to your notes on each trade. If you can write a note on each trade, like a little bit more time needed or something like that, then you'll start honing in onto what timeframes are working well for you at that time of day that you're trading. So that's why note taking is so important. And then refresh your scanner often, because quite often the scanners just they get stuck and you don't notice it. And I've jumped into trades thinking, oh, this is a great setup, and then I realized that it's not, because it's just
needed to be refreshed.
Okay, so then now all these things, the way I implement them is broken down here in these steps. So if you follow these steps, you should be sort of covering these bases while you're trading. So 1, currency strength. Now I'm going to jump over to the Hourglass scanner. For those of you, I'll just move you guys out of the way. There we go. Okay. So when you obviously go into, what is it? I've got it as I'm just trying to, most of you should know where to find the scanners. So
it's under strategies,
scanners. And then you're going to go Hourglass.
Just make sure it's not on market trap.
It'll usually be market trap at first. So you want to go up to strategies and make sure so that it'll usually be default market trap.
And they look really similar.
They look really similar. So make sure you're ticking Hourglass. I mean, you could probably use market trap as well. I just prefer Hourglass. And then, okay, so let's go back to our steps. And I'm assuming everybody here knows, what we're trading here, knows Hourglass and knows that it spits out.
If you've used Hourglass before, and a 2 if you've never used Hourglass before. That way we can just get a rough idea on what kind of everybody's interaction is. Okay, so some have used two. Okay, but quite a good mixture of the two. Okay,
all right, I'll briefly explain. Okay, so Hourglass. Hourglass basically, obviously it's a scanner. Over here, it spits out your trade ideas. Every 5 minutes, it'll spit out a whole bunch of ideas. At the top here, it shows the currency strengths. So AUD is obviously stronger than the franc. Was it the Swiss franc at the moment? So it's obviously quite a lot stronger, with a big difference in those numbers, and that's a key thing to look for.
Yeah, that's what you really want to see.
It will also tell you at the moment what the idea is. The idea is for a put, so it's got a downwards arrow, and then also from there there's a few other things that you want to look for. So down the bottom, you've got the RSI and the stochastic, which is if you're unfamiliar with these, then you want to go and watch some of the educators on indicators. And basically, if this moves up above the red line, then it means that this is overbought, and that it's likely that eventually it's going to come back down. So you can see here, it's been overbought, and then bang, crash down. And now it's oversold, and then it's going to go up. So if your price is coming down and it's moving down into below this green line here, then you know that it's probably getting ready to turn back around. So that's how you use these indicators at the bottom here. So again, it's the same thing here. If this goes above the green line, then you're getting ready for it to come back down. And if it goes below the red line, you're getting ready for it to come back up. So price to come back up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to follow a few set steps and basically try and find a really good setup, and then hopefully enter a couple of trades with you guys. So I just want to make sure. Now, I always do Alt Tab between my broker and the scanner, so I can switch in between them really quickly. Actually, but I want to read these to you. So the first thing we're going to look for is currency strength. I try to find pairs with a 15 to 20 points difference in currency strength. So if we jump back to Hourglass, obviously there's a 37-point difference in those two. So that's really good.
But it's in the wrong direction.
Yeah, no,
right?
we'll get to that. Right now, that's the first step. So there we go, big difference there. There we go, big difference there. So this one's not, so those ones are only 2 points apart, so we'll probably stay away from that. The other thing that we want to do is the EMA color line, okay? This is going to help you just by following these 2 steps together. It's going to really help to ensure that you are trading with the trend. So the EMA color line, red means you want to take puts only. Green means you want to take calls only. So I'll show you that here. So this is the EMA, okay? It's a moving average of price over time. And you can see how when price is above this line, it shows as in green, okay? That means that price is trending up, and you're going to want to trade with the trend. So if it's green, you're going to take calls for upward movements. And if you see out here, it's broken down. Whenever it breaks back through and it's below this, then you know you're on a downwards trend. And so when you see red, you're going to want to take puts. So what we're wanting to do is the very first step, and probably one of the sort of easiest steps to get some gains in your trading life, is to try and have those things line up. So if I check on AUD Chef, it's going for calls at the moment, which is great because the AUD, the top pair, is stronger than the bottom one by more than 15 or 20 points. So it's in an upwards trend according to that. And if I look at the EMA, this is also green, prices above it. So it's also saying we want to go for calls. So this is 2 confirmations that we want to go for calls. No, I know. So we'll get to that. But first of all, look for that and that. Okay. Now, I'll just bring up the chat so I can see. Does that make sense to everybody?
Say yes in the chat so we know.
Yeah, or just whatever. Yeah, everybody good. And feel free, honestly, if you like type a question or just put on your speaker. We've got a small group, so you can jump in if there's something that's really bothering you. Okay. So those are the first 2 steps, and these 2 steps are going to ensure that you are definitely trading with the trend. Number 3, okay, is you're trying to basically trade reversals, pullbacks. So when you have, I'm going to try and find a good example. When you've got a trending market like this here, the price moves up, and then there's a little pullback, and then it moves up. This one's not much of a pullback, but you can see there it's moved up again, and then it's pulled back, and it's up, and it's pulled back up, and it's pulled back up. No, pullback's not as much here. I mean, it's quite a lot here. So the idea, though, is to catch it when it's come back and keep going with the trend. So you want to take your trade with the trend just after that pullback. So that's the idea. And if you stick to the rules that I'm laying out for you, then you will be constantly trading with the trend on a pullback. So we've confirmed the trend with that first 2. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the stochastic and the RSI down here. And we're going to try and find a trade where the stochastic and the RSI has come down. Like, for example, if I'm going for a call, then I want this to be below the green line, or at least near it, because I know that, well, what that will essentially mean is that we will be in a pullback. If you followed these rules, what will happen is, right now, see how it's overbought right now? It's moving up. If that was to do a little pullback, you'll notice that the stochastic and the RSI, these will start coming down, and that's just going to confirm that you are definitely in a pullback. And then step 4, that it's overbought or oversold. Step 4, now I've actually gone a little bit in depth on these steps on our previous video. If you haven't watched that, if you're really brand new, then you're going to want to probably go back and watch last Wednesday's session, because that's not as in depth as this, and you can just have a go at practicing just those first 2 rules before sort of adding in these other things. I think it's really good.
Because last week we had a lot of new people who literally just took those first 3 steps and had a lot of success even just within that. We just want to give you guys a few more little things that you can come back and watch this recording as well.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, just doing those 2 steps was not going to make you a successful trader in the long run. You're going to have to do more work than that. And I'm giving you guys some of the more advanced steps. But if you're brand new to trading, what I would do is just get quick at identifying those first 2 steps. Like, there we go. I've got, this straight away. I can see this here is currency strength is going up. Okay, the top one is, and there's a good spread. When this little line here is green, you'll notice there'll be a green arrow. So that's a confirmation you want to take a trade up. When it's red like this one, you'll notice a red arrow. So it's telling you to take a trade down. In this scenario, you'll see that the currency strength is stronger for an upwards movement. So I won't be taking this trade. I'll skip this because this is above the EMA, it's moving up. I only want to take upwards trades. So I will skip this trade. But this one here is actually setting up right now because the currency strength is 79. It's for a call. So we've got a green arrow and we're above the EMA, which is green. So everything is telling us that it wants to move up. See how it's pulled back now and now it's pushing down on the stochastic. This one doesn't always make it all the way down, but these are all things that you sort of combine together. And then the next step, just because we're doing this live right now, I'm going to just jump straight into this. The next step is to find a resistance zone to take your entry. Now, ideally, I'd like to come down to the current candle's resistance zone, which is here. But also, sorry, when I say resistance, I mean support and resistance. I use them sort of interchangeably. Just support. Okay, but yeah. Anyways, we're going to miss this trade. At what time would you enter before the next candle? That is a little bit more advanced. So the timing thing I have for the last week and a half, I've been concentrating on all of the other steps and just implementing them over and over and over and over and over and over again to make sure that I'm fine tuning those. And then the next step for me is to work on the timing because the timing can be pretty important. So at this stage, I don't know. If you watch the videos with Dr. Josh Lee and Brandon Boyd, they may have more information on timing and when to enter the candle. Usually with most trading strategies, if you're right at the end of the candle, like now,
we'll wait for
you'd want to wait for the next candle because what can often happen is the next candle can get created and it creates a wick. So AUD Chef, I might just quickly jump onto it just because we're here. AUD Chef. And for new people, look, I apologize if this is a little bit more advanced and confusing for you. You'll want to jump onto last week's session if you want something really basic. So AD Chef, so you can see it's already creating a wick. I like this resistance zone here, 290. It could possibly push down to 274. But I'm liking the strength. I think we're going to get a turnaround. It's down below here. It's pushing down. It's pushing down. So on the scanner itself, it actually tells you an entry point, 295 is what it's saying, 295. I like to use the resistance line, which is 273. So if I jump on here, see it's already pushed down past 295. Now 273 is my entry point, but sometimes you go within 10 points or so. So I would enter here. I'm going to enter now. I entered it at 280. And so it's going to be a call. And remember that we want to trade in, oh shoot, this is pushed way down. So it's actually pushing down, but let's see, we might have to roll this one over. The idea here is that the market is moving up. Okay. It's supposed to do a pullback and you're meant to trade with the trend, which is why we're going for a call, because currency strength is showing that AUD is stronger, so the market should be moving up. Also, we're above the EMA, the moving average, which is showing as green, and whenever you see a green, you want to be taking calls. So right now, this is pushed back quite far though, so we'll see how we go. Now I might have to roll this over, so I always get ready. My broker's got a certain timing rules for rolling over, and so I have to roll over at about here. Now I've actually skipped a couple of steps because we're just sort of
that's the hard thing about teaching and trying to trade. It's like
Okay. Now, I can't use rollover anymore, so I'm really just hoping that it's going to keep going. I did skip a couple of steps, so I couldn't confirm a few things, but let's hope for the best. Come on, just needs to push through. Did anyone take that trade with me? I doubt it. But
the first one's always like, okay, we're just getting used to things.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Awesome. Look at you guys. You're off to it.
I didn't think anybody would have taken that with me.
And cleared.
Nice, nice. Okay,
yes.
Good job, guys. So
let us know if you cleared that one. That was a very impromptu trade, but hey.
Yeah. I was still going through my steps, and we didn't do all of the steps, but this shows you the power of those first few
3 steps, right?
And this is how like last week I got so many messages of new people,
awesome,
winning trades, and just from those first
3 steps. Yeah.
But be aware though, you'll jump onto the markets and you'll use those first 2 steps, and there's times where you use those and you might lose 4 in a row, because it doesn't all come down to those. There are a few other things that you need to check, and in this case we just did it impromptu, and it was great.
I will come.
So let's go back and see where we're at. So again, currency strength. EMA line color has to align with the currency strength. Sorry, somebody there has got their mic on. Let me just
click on participants. Yep, make it bigger. Yep, so just mute.
Oh, can I mute them? Great.
Yep.
I think
you just mute all. Just say mute all.
I'm going to mute you all, but if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, feel free to. Okay, so overbought and oversold. We saw that in action. So we had that pullback, and as it pulled back, you saw that it came down and it started touching these lines. Now, I'm not really super anal about these. Like this one here, it didn't actually make it below this gray line or the red line, but ideally the top one here, if you can get it to go below the green for a call and above the red for a put, then that's a great signal. Then check for obstacles. Now, this is when you're getting a little bit more advanced, because sometimes you will follow those first 3 steps and still you will get smashed out of the trade, and you'll be like, why did that happen? The markets are working, the broker's working against me, and you'll start blaming everything else. But the reality is that there's often reasons why. So when I say check for obstacles in front of your trade, one thing to look for is the EMA. Okay, so I don't know if I can find an example of it, but let's just say in this one here, if we were trading down, the EMA is here, and just like our resistance lines, the price bounces off the EMA and it uses it as a support or resistance. So if I was, for example, going for a downwards trade, a put, and everything was lining up with those first 3 steps, but the EMA was right in front of me, then that could kill my trade, because it could bounce off it and spike me out. So it's something to look out for. Let's see. I mean, I quickly.
Same with if you're going for a call, right?
So like now, this is possibly now. It's really hard with these with a trade like this, because it could just be wicking through and then it's actually could just still be bouncing off the EMA. So this is not a great example. If it was down here, and I was going for a call because everything lined up, like let's just say it was down here and everything lined up to go for a call, I'd be a little bit more hesitant, because I know it's going to hit this resistance. It's going to bang into that, and it could just temporarily spike me out. So that's something else to be aware of.
Especially when we're scalping the markets, right? Because we're in these trades for such a short period of time. That's just something to consider.
Does that make sense
where your
to
EMA
everybody?
is at.
And does anybody have any questions about those first 3 steps? If you don't, great, like that's all good. Type a 1 if you don't have any questions, or type a 2 if you do, or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, good. Don't have any questions. Awesome. Okay, perfect. I will continue then. And so check for obstacles. Now, other obstacles could be I mean, this is when you get a little bit more advanced. You probably won't worry about this, but if you have multiple resistance lines in one area, like look over here, see back here, you got multiple resistance lines. And basically what the scanner is doing is it's looking at previous highs, and it's creating, support and resistance lines. And if you're down here and you're trading up, let's just say I had a call here for an upwards trend and everything else lined up, that is something to consider. Right now, I think as you're starting out, don't even worry about that. I didn't put it in here for a reason, but just giving you guys an idea of, for future things, as you get better at this, you'll start recognizing other things. But don't worry about that right now. First of all, just worry about the EMA, because that is the big one.
But when you go back, that kind of just also shows you're in a little bit more of like a consolidation period, which you can still scalp those markets if you're a little bit more advanced. But when you're starting out, you want to be trading in a super trending market.
Well, if you follow those first two steps, that's right.
Yeah,
you want to stay away from consolidation when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
So if you follow those first two steps, you should be staying away.
If you've got a 20 difference, you should be in a good trending market.
Plus that EMA line color. Yeah. So then this is again a little bit more advanced to confirm trades. All right. So what I normally do, which I didn't do on this one, is check a higher time frame for a confirmation. And these are the things that you do when you are you're following all these steps, and then for some reason the price just keeps continuing the wrong way. And one of the biggest reasons why that is because you didn't check the higher time frame. And I'll give you an example. So maybe we can try and find a trade. Let me just check this higher time frame. What I normally do is I wait for a setup, and then I will quickly jump to the higher time frame just before I enter. So AUD JPY right now, the currency strength is going for an upward direction, which is great. I'm looking at the green line, so that's telling me we're in an upwards trend, which is great. So I want to take a call on this one. The only thing is this is red and there's no arrow right now. I'm just going to refresh my screen. So what was that? That was AUD JPY. Okay, so there you go. So this is, but the actual trade idea is for a put, and I know I want to take calls, but at the candle's about to switch, I know we're at the bottom here, so I need to go to AUD JPY. Where is it? Quickly, AUD JPY. There we go. Now, we've now got a call. Okay, it's not showing me the arrow, but I'm not going to worry about it. And it's saying call at 942. Now I don't have any resistance lines here, but I can use the EMA. Okay, so the scanner says 942. The EMA is at say 99 or 2100. Wait, 942. I'd say. Sorry. The EMA is at 90. 090. Yeah, 090. Sorry, 942, and it's at 090. So now what I'm going to do, that confirmation of jumping to the higher time frame, okay, is jump to the 15 minutes. What is this telling me? Do I have anything in my way? Sometimes when you jump to the 15 minutes, you'll realize that there's some obstacles. Maybe the EMA is in your way. This line here, this moving trend, this EMA here. Sorry, somebody said is the wrong pair. It's the wrong pair. What do you mean?
AUD JPY.
Was I not on?
Is that what it was? Oh, it's on AUD shift there.
Oh, it is too. Yeah. Okay. And this is the importance of refreshing your scanner. Why is it not doing that? Thank you. Thank you, Helen.
Thanks, Helen.
Thank you, Helen. Yeah, that's why I mentioned right at the beginning, refresh your scanner often, because it often gets you out. Okay, here we go. Now this is good. AUD JPY, we're in the right direction. It's come down to the EMA, which is at 930. Okay, so AUD JPY, we probably might miss this one, but I do want to show you that confirmation. It's actually pushed down past it. Now we want to switch to the 15 minutes and see what is the 15 minutes telling me. Okay, the 15 minutes is now coming onto this EMA line, which I think it'll bounce off of. But one of the things to consider is it's been pushing up, it's slowing down. So is the 15 minutes now coming down on a downtrend? And I'm going for an upwards call. Now this one isn't a great example, but sometimes you'll switch to the 15 minute and you'll realize like, oh, maybe this isn't. Maybe, and like actually right now it's playing out exactly like I was saying. price has come up really strong. It's sort of slowed down. You've got a couple of dojis, and now on the 15-minute, although the 5-minute was telling us, this would be a great call, right? This is actually playing out in real time, which is great. Now this, I would normally take this trade for sure. You've got a great market moving upwards. It's pulling back, moving upwards, pulling back, moving upwards. That's a big pullback, so it's a little bit less, but upwards, and you were expecting a pullback and another call, right? But by jumping to the 15 minutes, you now get a little bit of extra information. I probably, if I wasn't teaching right now, I probably would have entered it. So I'm not saying I'm like, you're going to get it wrong sometimes, but the point is to jump to the higher time frame and just read.
As
and you'll get better at
confirmation.
You'll get better at reading what the market is doing, and that'll just be a way to stop you from getting from losing trades as often. So so I mean, I probably would have taken that trade, but the one thing that I did notice was that, you know, price was moving down here, and I don't, one thing that I want to mention as well that I haven't mentioned is when you're trading, see if I can find an example, is when you're trading any pair and you're trying to find out whether you're in a trend or not. Everything seems to be trending really nicely at the moment. You don't want to, I want to try and get you guys this at the beginning, try and stay away from pairs that are constantly switching between, see this here, because there's no confirmation of a real trend, even though right now we've got a trend and it's pulling back, trend pulling back, trend pulling back. If you see this red, green, red, green, red, green, then just stay away from it. You really want to go for even, I mean, this isn't too bad, but some of these other ones are much nicer. Look at that, it's green all the way, green all the way. You want to save, you know, trade those two. This might be a good setup.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this looks like it might be a good setup.
Okay, so let's see if we can do another trade. AUD USD, and then we'll talk about some other things as well. So AUD USD, I'm looking at 017. We'll check the higher time frame. I'm just taking this slow with you guys. There's nothing, I mean, it is sort of turning around, but we've got another support back here. I think we're going to take it. Everything's oversold at the moment, so it should come back up. So we're looking for 0017 AUD USD. AUD USD, get ready for a pump up. Let's do it. I'm at 0011. All right, I'm gonna take it. I don't like trading such a small amount. I mean, there we go. All right, I'm in. Oh, and I missed. And
you missed the entry for changing your price. On a demo account.
Yes, on a demo account. I've got to make that money. Okay, hopefully you guys got some better entries. And again, this.
Go back to your 5.
Oh shoot, we just jumped into a brand new candle. Oh, was this right? This is that candle. Great. Switch back to the 5, and what are we trading? AUD USD. Now you'll notice here the entry was 020. The scanner called it out at 020. But what I like to do is I like to hover above the resistance line, and that for me it says 018. And it looks like it's actually come down to this one here, which is, there you go, 011. And you can see that it uses previous support and resistance. So yeah, I mean, I think we've got a solid support zone here. Now we just needed to turn around. We've still got lots of currency strength heading in the right direction. So if I had gotten that 11 entry, that would have been perfect. And now we're just waiting. Let's pump it up.
Put a 1 if you're in this trade with us.
This? Nice. It's gonna stay up there.
Yeah, on.
Some of you might be doing shorter trades than I am. Has anyone cleared yet? Let me know.
Yeah, like Jen last week, man, she was scalping on that 2-minute market, and she managed to do like 7 trades.
She got 8 and 0 on our live session, because she was doing 2-minute trades, and she was just jumping in on everything that I called out. I only jumped in on like 3 or 4, but she jumped on every single one with 2-minute trades and won them all, which was amazing. This is so slow.
Yeah, it's always these last bits where you're like, come on.
Cleared, nice, Julian.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't you do this to me. Don't do it to me.
It's always right at the end. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no,
And that's the
leave
importance
me
of getting
alone.
that sniper entry. Like if I was at
Yeah, if you
that,
didn't change your price.
oh, cleared. Did anyone lose this trade?
Phew.
Has anyone lost it?
Come
No.
on, we're gonna make it.
That's right. When you play the music, then it turns around.
It's like, okay, I'm ready to pump.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. That was. I mean,
That was close.
These are really close. I think quite often I like it when the market moves faster than this. Like it's quite slow, and you know you want to see a good spike and clear it nicely. But
this
anyways,
is when you get sweaty palms, eh?
A win is a win.
Exactly.
Cool.
And guys, honestly, like you would literally be at this point calculating and seeing if you've hit your percentage, right? 2 to 3 is all you need in a session.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I've written down some more things for you guys to take into account after you've been trading, and it's really important. It's really like the trading part. You guys will learn this, and you'll get faster and better at recognizing trades, and you'll be able to get your hit rate higher. You know, whether it's 70% or whatever around about that or above is great. But really, where trading matters the most is not actually the trading. It's your ability to control yourself and risk management. You guys probably heard this 100 times, but I'm telling you straight from a normal guy who trades 100%, that's going to be your biggest letdown if you
awesome, Mel. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Mel. Yeah, if you can't learn to control yourself each session, walk away when you're losing. Have a plan for losses so that you're minimizing losses on a bad day and maximizing wins on a good day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nina. So if you actually, the great thing that Christian created, which I think is absolutely amazing, if you're not using that trade tracker, that is so good, because it literally every single day is like a new day. You're starting out, you put your balance in, it gives you the numbers where you should stop if you're winning, the numbers where you should stop if you're losing, your win rate percentage for that day. It's got a section where you put your currencies, notes, everything like that. And I feel like if you're tracking, you're keeping yourself accountable. Or like us, we used to trade separately and now we trade together, because it just helps us have that other person that's like accountable.
Accountability to if you've got a partner. Did it ever affect your confidence to continue if you have a bad day? Oh yeah, 100%. I'll be honest. Last week I lost 10%. I haven't lost 10% in a long time. So that's was it the week before last? I can't remember, but that was one of the reasons why I was like, okay, I'm just going to step back to basics, and it's okay to step back. Okay, you and have
guys,
to realize
this is a year in. Like we're just giving you guys the honest raw truth.
This is the reality,
right?
You have to realize if you want to be successful at this over the long run, stop focusing on one day. One day is one day of 365 days. So don't focus on one day. Right now, as for new people, the best thing that I can recommend that you do is don't care right now about your wins or your losses or your bad days. Right now you're still learning, so most of the time you're probably going to lose, and that's okay, and you got to be okay with that. The one thing that you should be focusing on is your control and whether you're sticking to your trade plan. So you should have a trade plan, like our spreadsheet gives you a trade plan, and then you should celebrate if you've had a bad day, if you've had a loss and you've had a bad day, celebrate the fact that you stopped when you said you would and that you walked away. Sometimes I
take that as a win,
Jemma,
right?
Sometimes I'll have bad days and I'll jump off, and Jemma will say, well, celebrate it. You did so well that you walked away. You didn't, because when I first started, we blew a couple of accounts, because it's getting you. And
we were like, oh, we're going to do this. Like, it's fine.
But the thing is, and I got great gains in the beginning. Like I turned a $200 account into a $2,000 account in no time. But from trying to do it so quick, and from not sticking to a plan, I was on top of the world. I was winning, and just smashing it. And then I hit my first, well, I'd traded demo a long time before then, but I hit my first live real losing streak, and I wasn't ready for it emotionally. And I blew our account. It was a horrible feeling. It was a horrible feeling because we were on top of the world. We were smashing it. And then I had to go tell Jemma that I stayed awake till 3 a.m. and I blew our whole account. And
this isn't to be doom and gloom,
yeah,
guys,
it's not
but this is just to help you guys not to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And to help you guys go, you know what? That's why we created that spreadsheet, because one losing day doesn't mean anything. Because you can still be up for that week. Even if you have a losing week, you can be up for that month. But the only way you know that is if you track it and know where you're at. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not doom and gloom, guys. You guys can do this, right? But all I'm trying to the only point that I'm trying to push out here is particularly for brand new people, is do not care about your wins and your losses right now. You're just starting. You're still learning. I don't give a shit. If I'm trading demo, if you're trading demo, you shouldn't be worrying about it. So so just concentrate on your self-control and tracking your trades, writing notes so that you can go back and read them and improve over time. So give it a good month where you're just trading demo and don't put so much pressure on yourself.
And leave those emotions behind, right?
Exactly.
Like if you had a loss the day before, don't bring that back into the next session, right? Every day, every trade's a new setup.
Now, sorry, I'm getting this, everything that we just spoke about here, put in the bottom here, which is rules for your week. Okay, so I've put in a whole bunch of stuff in here, which I'll quickly read over to you guys sooner, but I was meant to do that at the end of the session. We just happened to get into it.
We can see if we've got one more setup, right?
Does anybody want to do, let's hopefully finish on a high. I mean, if you won 2-3% trades for the day,
you'd be done.
I'd be done.
We'd be calling it quits.
If I won 2-3% trades for the day, I'd be up my 3% easy, and I'd be calling it quits for the day. But look, in this
everyone's
case,
got different percentages, but if you're starting out, honestly, 2 to 3 trades, easy, walk away and be done, and take that as your profit, especially at the beginning of.
And there's one thing that you could do, right? There's one thing that you can do. Like if your goal is 3% for the day, there's different strategies. Everybody does it differently, but you want to maximize your winning streak. So if you're doing really well on a day, let's just say your goal was your 3%, and maybe after winning your 2 trades, you're actually up 3.5%. So what you can do is you can risk that last 5%, okay? And you can go in for a 3rd trade. And if you win that one, great. If you lose it, great, you stop. You're still up your 3%. So that's another strategy. It's something to implement that you can, over time, maximize your winning streaks. And obviously on your losing streaks, if you're down, I would say 2%, you're going to stop. Okay, everybody says different things. So you might aim for 5% and stop at 3%, or whatever it is that you're doing. Try and make it that you're aiming to win more, and that you stop at a sort of a smaller amount. That didn't really make sense, but if you watch that spreadsheet video of ours, it'll all make sense. Is everybody still here and still awake? It's so hard.
Sorry, we've just been blabbering.
It's a one-way channel. Drop a 1 in the chat if you want to do one more trade. If you guys are done for the night, that's all good. Yeah.
Okay. They're probably like, cool. Can you guys just stop talking?
Shut up and trade, you idiot. Yeah. Now, yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Let's stop talking. All right. So again, our 3 steps. First of all, currency strength I'm looking for. Now, this isn't a huge spread, so I'll probably stay away from it. This one is a huge spread, but it's going for a put. The new candles come out, so it's going to be another 4 minutes until the switches, so I'm not going to bother looking at it. I'm going to scroll down. This one here, great. We've got a call, a nice big spread. I can click on it, and we actually traded this before. That you got to be careful when you retrade the same trade over and over and over again, because it's telling you something. That's telling you that, I mean, this could be turning around. We've got a couple of dojis. What that means is it's signaling that it's going to go in either direction. But often it's like that bowling ball analogy. If it bashes on a resistance line, the more it bashes on it, the more likely it's going to break through it. So you're going to have to be careful with these. I would normally trade this, but just because we just traded it before, and because of what it's doing, I'm not going to trade it. So
It's a
let's move on.
trade.
It is a 5 point. It is a 5
I'm
point
like,
trade.
oh.
It is a 5 point trade, and I might be wrong, but I want to make this. I want to make this
true.
last one a winning trade for you guys. Okay, so Euro AUD. We've got a put. Here we go. So we've got the red. We've got a spread, big good spread. It's a put. It's a 4 point trade. I didn't mention the points of trades, which I did in the last one.
The higher the number, the better the trade.
The higher the number, technically, the better the trade. But to be honest, sometimes I trade 2 point trades. As long as everything else is lining up, then it's okay to trade a 2 point trade. Otherwise, you're gonna aim for 3 or 3.
But the main game is if you can be really patient and wait for everything to line up and have a high score.
Yeah,
then that's amazing, right?
Like, now look at this, guys. Look at this. See how we spoke about possible obstructions. Okay. Now I've got a 4 point trade here. It's come through, and it's probably, see how it's come up and it's sort of been bouncing roughly on top of it. You know, it's not always 100% accurate, but the fact that it's broken through, I'm going for a put, but it might not come through. I mean, I could take this trade, and I think it is a good trade.
But it might hit that EMA and bounce back up.
That's just an example of the obstructions that I told you guys. You know, keep an eye out for obstructions. So, but when I look at the 15, this is coming up to, you know, a 15-minute is looking okay. It's only just come down into the red zone on the 15, but I think let's take a look at it and see if we can get a trade in. Now this scanner is calling out 771. Okay, now 771 on, what is that, Euro AUD? 771 Euro AUD. 771, it's already above that. So now the price points, you'll notice that Hourglass with my broker, it's way off. Like it's way off. Like the lowest point that it came to recently here, according to the scanner, was 720, and down here it came down to 739. So you notice it's way off, which is why I don't know. It's tough. I usually just try and use the resistance lines numbers themselves as opposed to the scanner call out. So I don't think that it's going to push all the way up to here. It could, like that one has whipped all the way up, but I think it's using this resistance line here. If you're just starting out, always use the one closest to current price, which is way up here. Now that says 847, so that's ages away, and looks like I'm missing this trade. But see, my scanner hasn't updated. Again, you have to refresh the scanner often because I think it hasn't updated. So did anybody take that trade while I was blabbling? Euro AUD.
Looks like it has. Let's see. Took both. Nice, Nina. Did you clear them both?
did you clear it, Nina?
Let us know. Oh,
I just cleared. Great. Oh, nearly. Oh, so someone else cleared, so you nearly cleared. Oh, you took both, even the one that even the other one. Yep. Okay. I don't know what the scanner's doing here. It's stuck. The scanner's
both.
Stuck. Nice. And this is yeah, anyways, I'm going to stay away from this one because I don't like, it's not moving.
Yeah, those candles are way too small.
Yeah, it's just not moving. Okay, let's try and, okay, I'm going to shut up now and trade. Let's do this.
No, it's good. I mean, we're teaching, right? So teaching and trading is completely different. It's great to practice it. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with you taking those trades. It's good for you to practice. So
yeah, I think take as many trades as you can so you can learn, but just make sure that you're taking note of why you're taking those trades and why you think they failed or won. So Euro NZD downwards, red, we've got a put. I'm going to go for there. 543 Euro NZD. Euro NZD 543 is what I'm looking for. Oh, it's pushed way through. Sometimes this is out and I usually add about 10, so 555 would be my entry, but I'm going to take that for a put now.
Okay, let's see.
I didn't check.
Oh, you didn't check your 15 minutes.
And see here, it's actually I'm breaking my own rules.
Oh, you are.
Like,
it's close to
look, I think we'll be okay. The EMA is our obstacle. I didn't check the 15 minutes, so let's see what the 15 is telling us. 15 is not telling us much. It's looking all right. It's come down, it's come back up, but we're just waiting for a little bit of a pullback. So I think we should be good.
We always have to play Snoop Dogg when we've got to make these markets drop. It's something Faith started and we just carry it on now. Come on, baby.
We have got some strong candles here. I think it will continue.
It's OTC on pocket option.
Sorry, okay, sorry guys.
Okay, OTC is over the counter, so this could
that means
you wouldn't trade this.
You wouldn't trade it. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It's annoying. Binary Sync doesn't tell you when it's on OTC.
Well, you guys will just have to wait for us to win this trade, and we can.
Yeah, losing it on pocket option because
if it's OTC on pocket option, it won't match.
Yeah.
This could be OTC for us too, but
it may not be. Maybe different brokers have OTC at different times.
Nah, I think this is accurate for us. It's following it. And
so obviously, if you're trading on pocket option, it will be looking probably different to ours.
Yeah. So you guys can't trade this one. If it says OTC, it means that
don't trade it. The broker is manipulating the market.
No, not manipulate. It means that the broker's price will not match current price, real life market price. So it's not going to match the scanners. So don't trade it if it's on OTC.
Yeah.
Now it's finding this resistance here at that sort of 4-7, and we just need to see once it starts pulling through it, then you know you've got a couple more zones to keep you safe, which makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So even if it comes up here, it should start sort of rejecting off of this little zone here. So we're looking okay.
Come on, baby.
And it's always in that last little bit that it creeps up. It's just to do with the timing. So, but it should respect the zone a little bit and hopefully go down just a little bit more before it goes up. I think this is overall, we've got a lot of upwards movement, and I think overall it probably is going to cross back through, but that's all we need. We just need 3 minutes.
Oof.
All right. Okay. Now, should we do another one that's not on OTC? I'm still in a trading zone here. It's
Christian's like on a roll.
I like it when I'm winning.
We got to get up early for the next session.
Yeah. Yeah. True. We're gonna wake up. One more. Let's do one more. If everybody wants to.
Ash is like, yes, one more.
That was close. See what I was saying?
I
think, when you see a lot of movement, especially if, this is only 2 candles to go off of, but if you notice something like
big
this,
pumps,
and that's a big candle. This one slowed down, but you got a big candle. If you see candles that get larger and larger and larger, then you just be careful.
Because normally if it's large candles, they're going to come back large as well in the opposite direction. So
okay, cool. Let's find one that's not on
that
OTC.
Was close. We managed to.
If I call out a pair and it's
on
OTC,
if it's on OTC on pocket option, just let us know.
Okay, so we're going to find another pair. I'm just going to refresh. I think after, it's good to get into a habit of just refreshing after every trade.
Yeah.
Okay, AUD JPY, great currency strength.
It's about to switch
call.
over.
We've got green line. Everything is looking good. AUD JPY, it's saying 899. AUD JPY, it's saying 886. But
last week we spoke about waiting for them to hit those actual support or resistance zones.
So 886 is quite far away from this support zone here, which is at 967. What? 768. So this is 768, and that's saying 886. That's quite far away. So it could be supporting off this one here, which is 375. But I'm just going to go jump to it. What is it?
You're feeling
AUD,
risky
JPY.
tonight, aren't you? Don't do what he's doing on these last trade. Yeah, Nina, you would have lost that because that was on OTC, right?
Yeah, that was OTC.
I mean, we won it because our broker, it wasn't on OTC on that pair, but for pocket option, which I'm guessing you were on, it was OTC. And that's a great example to show you guys why we don't trade OTC. 886
is what it's calling out. I don't like going with what the scanner says. I usually like going for the support and resistance lines themselves, like literally this line here, which is, what's going on?
890.
Yeah, it's the scanner being funny. I was like, what's going on? The scanner is being funny. It doesn't normally do this.
No.
So something weird's going on. But
it's probably because they're I think it's like they're really close to launching that other one. So maybe they're beta testing it.
Maybe it's got something through pocket option being on.
OTC.
Okay, AUD JPY. You are now in a 4-point trade. And when you see, I'll zoom in on this so you can see it and hopefully we don't miss it. When you see the resistance line moving up like this, use the top of that angled line. So 858 is what I'm looking for.
What pair was that?
It says AUD JPY. It's a 5-point trade. 858 would be optimal, but this is saying 886, so you could enter now, but 858 would be optimal. Like really, if it comes down to, yeah, or 860. Oof, I might, this is where patience, you know, you could enter now and quite often, but if you, and you know, it's best to be patient, but quite often you'll miss trades if you really wait. And I need to check on the higher time frame.
Turning into a
check on the higher time frame
right now.
We're all, see how we're crossing through this red? We've got this crossing through, which isn't great, but we're still above here. I'm going to go for the 858, which is around about now.
See, if you were doing this live, you'd be completely lowering your risk, right? Because this is like you've already hit your 3 in wins. You'd be completely lowering your risk right now.
I still think this is a good trade. Everything on the 5-minute, is okay. We've got, obviously, like I was talking about, an obstacle which is way up here. That's on the 900s. We are coming down into Bollinger Bands, which is another indicator that it's going to go up. We're over sold here, so we should get some buy action coming back in. The only thing that I really didn't like was switching to the 15-minute and the fact that it's breaking
starting to show that it might be going down.
I don't like it, but I think we're going to be okay. I might have to roll this one over. Anybody else in this trade? Where's the chat? Chat. Is anybody in this trade? Yes. Good. Okay, let's see.
What was that at?
It's pushing back, and where could it go to? Like, I like to know where it could go to. So it could use this previous support here, which is 834, or it could come down to 815, which is quite far away.
Entered 868.
868, so slightly higher. Yeah, so I've got rollover. I'm gonna, do I need to use my rollover? So I might utilize my rollover. If you've got pocket option, you can't utilize a rollover. If you do have rollover, I would be utilizing it. I try and stay away from utilizing rollover because you risk more money. And if you've had a great trading streak, you know, we won our first ones. We had we won our first 3. We had a great run, and then you don't want to kill all your gains by losing your last one. So,
and if that was live, right? Like we checked on the 15, it showed that it could be going down, so we wouldn't have actually rolled that over.
Well, I mean,
maybe it depends. Right?
Yeah, it depends. I definitely would. I wouldn't have taken this trade because we won 3 in a row, and we'd be happy with that win. If this was our real account, but just for learning
demonstration purposes.
Okay, so did anybody win that trade? I don't think anybody would have. I still have a chance of winning it because I've got rollover. Anybody still in this trade? Drop a 1. If you lost it, cleared.
Oh, cleared, man. Good job. You obviously got a really good entry.
So you're still in the trade, Natalie? Good. Emma's still in the trade.
Come on, I think give us a
lost, but lesson learned. Exactly.
Oh, these markets, see how it's just like such small movements. This is usually when you're like, oh no.
Got in at 858. That's a good entry. Was a better entry than mine. Hopefully you won that. Did you win? Whoever, just says iPhone.
Yeah, cleared. Nice. Good job, Emma.
Nice. Can you guys drop some scores in the chat? What's your win-loss ratio for the night? Anybody have a good win-loss ratio? 1, 2, lost 2. Sorry.
4 and 4.
Wait, 4. Did you win 4 out of 4?
3 wins, 1 loss. Nice.
So that's good. So, Julian, did you win 4 out of 4? Or did you have 4 wins and 4 losses?
Cleared 4. Nice.
Cleared 4,
good
3 wins,
job,
1
guys.
loss. That's great. Julian, I hope you didn't win.
Cleared 4.
Cleared 4, great.
Only lost the OTC, and that makes sense.
Cleared 4,
nice.
And the only
good
the only loss, and some of those would have been.
And the thing is, if you only lost OTC, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. on MT4 and third day in a row, 10% wins. That's
Nice,
amazing.
Hannah. You've been doing
It's amazing,
so
Hannah.
good.
That's
I'm so proud of you. Honestly, you've been rocking it.
Hannah, that's insane. Like 10% third day in a row. Now make sure, when you're on this high, you're winning, winning. If you hit, and you will hit a time when you start losing some. Don't let it get you down.
MT4, you've got that stop loss, so you're good. Yeah, so Nina, the difference is MT4 is a different broker. So it's kind of hard to explain on tonight's call, but instead of it being a time-based thing, it's a movement-based market.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, actually, do you know what, Nina? Amanda has just started teaching the DeLorean for the team. So if you want to see the difference between HFX and FRX, definitely go check out her sessions. She'll cover that a little bit more, but yeah.
All right. So this has been good.
Nice.
It's a good night for me. So I've got 4-0. That's a smashing night. If I did that doing
and a double rollover night. I mean,
yeah.
At least one rollover, so that'll be a good.
Yeah, because with my rollovers, it means that I make more money. So I would probably be up, I don't know, maybe probably be a 8% day for me or something like that, or maybe slightly less, depends on how many rollovers I did. But yeah, so there you go. This is a sort of a
who enjoyed
real life example.
Let us know
how you do it.
Hopefully you guys have learned something. Drop some 7s if you enjoyed this session and you learned something out of what we taught you today.
Cool.
Yay.
Cool. Hey, if you've got 2 minutes, just drop a one in the chat. I was going to read those. It'll take 2 minutes. I'll quickly just read those last things because I think they're really important. And I'm going to share this document. I'll probably because I typed it up so quickly, I'll probably rewrite it and I'll share this.
Yeah, seeing it in action, like that was the big thing for me too. Is like you watch the educators, but so nice to actually see it take place.
Yeah, and you guys, actually, we're going to do that thing
yeah, let's do
it. With Jemma and I, if you guys, whoever's still on, Jemma and I are going to do just a giveaway. We're going to give away. We'll do a couple of giveaways this week, but we're going to do 100 Bitcoin.
$100 worth of Bitcoin.
$100 worth of Bitcoin, not 100 Bitcoin. Yeah, $100 worth of Bitcoin to. I really want to encourage new people to track trades and start learning that control side of it. So if you can, whether you've got your own spreadsheet or you've got your own way of tracking your trades, or jump on and download our trade tracking spreadsheet. If you can, for this week, track your trades, send me a screenshot. Then if you send me a screenshot showing me that you don't have
doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. It's just that
I don't care if it's a demo. I don't care how much you've won. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
The fact that you're sticking to rules and you're tracking your trades. That's what we're trying to really get you guys to start etching in your brain. Tracking your trades, sticking to your rules, because if you do that consistently, that is what gets you those wins. That's what's going to get you to change your life. That's what's going to get your broker to consistently grow. You
guys might not take us up on this, but if you want to do that, if you can track your trades this week, and then send us a screenshot of your trade tracking. It doesn't matter, like we said, it doesn't matter what the outcome is, as long as you're being consistent and sticking to your rules. Then you'll go into the draw to win 100 Bitcoin to fund an account or whatever.
$100 worth of Bitcoin.
Anyways, you know what I mean. And it's not much, but it's something.
Hey, put it towards your trading account or buy some of the coins that Mike called out on his last.
So hopefully somebody does it. I'd love to see some people's results, and it doesn't have to be with the Hourglass strategy or what I've taught you right now. It can be whatever you've learned. Just put it into practice.
As long as you are tracking and sticking to your rules, that's all that matters.
And I'm going to finish off with just really, really quickly. I'm just going to read this to you. So this is rules for your week. Okay, guys, rules for your week. What I've given you is a starting guide, and I'm going to share this with you. It's a starting guide. You need to go, and there's more things you can incorporate into this, like reading candles. There's market structure, W's, M's. There's a bunch of stuff that you can accumulate, the knowledge that you can accumulate if you continue to learn. Never stop learning. Okay, keep learning. Stay consistent. Don't break the rules unless you are implementing something that was mentioned by an educator. don't break these rules. Go stick to these rules that I've given you and see how you go. Keep your trade timings consistent within your session to ensure you know what is or isn't working. Like, for example, I use the 3-minute timings. I usually stick to that, and I allow 2 rollovers. And
Max.
even if 2 rollovers max, those are my rules. Now, you guys might have different rules. If you're with pocket option, you might say 5-minute trades, or stick
3 minutes,
or 3-minute
whatever
trades.
your time frame is.
If you're constantly if you're constantly changing within the session, you're not going to know what's really working for you. So stick to something, even if you're losing, stick to it consistently for that session or for a few sessions, and then start making those minor tweaks. Okay, I'm losing. If you wrote your notes, you'll say,
lost in that last minute,
or whatever.
Needed another minute.
Exactly. And if you do that consistently, then you'll be able to make those minor tweaks over time to get a better hit rate. Track your trades. So important. We just spoke about that. Write notes on each session. Why did you lose the trade? Go back and read your notes before you trade every single time. Don't make the same mistake repeatedly. I did that for a long time. It was so stupid. I could have been so far ahead. Set a daily profit goal and daily stop goal. So stick to that rule. Again, this is about you guys sticking to their trade tracking spreadsheet, walking away when you have your losses. So, and everybody's got different rules for it. So you could say 2 losses and you stop, or 2% down and you stop, 3% up and you stop. Again, like I said before, you could reduce your risk. So if you're up for the day, you could reduce your risk and stop on your next loss or something like that.
And I just want to say as well, like, especially binary, right? Like FRX is a little bit different, but honestly, if you are like just starting out and say you feel like you're ready to go live, honestly, even stopping at 2%, don't feel, because obviously a lot of the more experienced traders are like hitting 8% or 10% or higher. But if you try and go for that too soon, you might win, and then lose. And you're like,
damn it, I should have stopped.
2% is like 1 to 2 trades until you can start adding in all these other advanced analysis. Then you can increase that if you start seeing consistency. But otherwise, don't feel disheartened with a 2% win
2%
rate.
is
Honestly,
amazing. 2% over a year. You guys have seen the compound calculator. Honestly,
it's insane.
Big. You can do a lot in a year with small growth. Again, remember, even the perfect trade can be spiked out. So sometimes you're not doing, it's not something that you're doing wrong. Don't blame yourself. Sometimes you can follow all those steps and still it'll get spiked out. So all we're doing is trying to increase our odds over time by incorporating these weekly rules and our also trading rules. We're trying to increase our chances of winning that trade. And then over the week, we're implementing these things to increase our chances of winning more days than we have, days lost. So it's not 100%. Trading is not black and white. It's gray, and it just is what it is. You can lose the best trades in the world. So don't focus on the day. Don't even focus on the week. If you are new, focus on being consistent and continue your learning, implementing those things and practicing consistently. Your win-loss rate will improve over time, I guarantee you. But right now, don't worry too much about that. Focus on your control and consistency. Ask for help when it's needed. The MIB Elite Group had all the mentors in there. Everybody's so helpful, and jump on the Go Lives with the educators and reach out to us anytime.
So we've got the Telegram, we've got our group chats, you've got your one-on-one mentor, and you've got a great support system around you. That's really why all of our mentors and like Amanda and myself made it a huge priority here to really have that support network around you guys, because trading can be lonely. Like it's a thing you do on your own, but it's fun. That's why we try and incorporate these like team sessions and like have that support network around you. So even when, say, if you are having a winning day, it's like, yes, let's celebrate you. And if you had a loss, like we're still there to support you, right? So
I don't think trading's late. I get it. I love it.
No, I know. When you're in that zone, it's like the best.
Yeah,
it's like that.
Can be, in fact, it can be quite an addictive thing. I find it like it's,
especially when you're winning. You're like,
when you're winning, and that's why you got to know when to walk away. Like tonight, we won 4 trades. I'm walking away at that. Like, and that's where having an accountability partner like Jemma is we're accountability partners to each other. And in fact, we went so far as when we first started out that
we'd show each other our balances.
Before I start trading, I would show Jemma, this is my balance, and this is what I want to stop at if I lose, and this is what I want to stop at if I win, so that I can't cheat the system. When I finish my session, I would show her my balances,
and
so
we'd
she
both
knows.
just be like, look, this
she
is
keeps
what
me
it's
accountable.
at.
and these are just different strategies that you can
And
use.
hey, like that's what these groups are for. So if you want a trading buddy, like don't hesitate to reach out and start a little thing where maybe you jump on Zooms together like we've done tonight, and you help each other out. Like you share the screen and you get on with somebody and they're looking at the charts and you both are kind of like working together. You know, that's another option that you can do as well.
And if you guys like that, well, I'm happy to do more of these. We've got a few sort of crazy weeks ahead of us, so I don't know when.
Yeah,
But Jemma will shove it in the chat, and then we'll try
I
and
just
tee up
wanted you
more of these
guys
for
to,
you
I
guys.
know it's hard sometimes because we've got a lot of people out of the States. So sometimes our calls are a bit tricky. I mean, we've got another call tomorrow morning. Obviously that's in the MIB Elite group. This one was an event. This was kind of just like a knit group of ours, of the people who feel like they miss out on the other calls. So I will try and do more of these calls so that everybody can participate, hopefully. Obviously they're not as consistent like our other ones, but we'll definitely try and sprinkle more of these in so that you guys can actually get the opportunity to trade live with us.
Man,
so
we talk a lot, that's for
I
sure.
know. Okay.
Okay.
We'll leave you guys now.
Yeah, we'll leave you guys to it. If you're brand new, I hope this wasn't too overcomplicated.
Awesome. I'll get signed up this week. Thanks for letting me join.
Cool. All right.
Yes.
Welcome to the group, to the club, Nina. Yes. Don't feel disheartened if you're brand new and this felt a little bit overcomplicated. Just even message me directly. I'm happy to help anybody. That's what we're here for now.
It's just to turn
I'm
back
signing
around
up.
and help you guys.
Sign up my sister. I'm teaching my brother. I'm teaching my mum. I want everybody to win at this. Okay.
Yeah.
And that includes you guys. So cool, guys. Really, thank you for your
fun.
time, and hope you enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again soon.
We'll be on tomorrow morning at 4. What is it? 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
So we better get some sleep.
All right.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.